everybody. Come here. Come here. Come here. You stinky baby. Come on, Scout. Everyone wants to see you. Can we do a little intro, please? Can we get a little cute introduction with you? Because you're so cute. So I'm here with another video. Welcome back to my YouTube channel, Jane Wild XO. So today I want to do kind of like a more fun, lighthearted video because a lot of the videos on my channel are very real, which means they are not always like sugarcoating things, and they're not always like showing a happy time necessarily. It's just me being totally like unfiltered, and sometimes it's bad shit is going on in the world and I want to talk about that unfiltered, so I'm never gonna like censor myself. With that being said, I do still want to put out some positive stuff and stuff that will make people, you know, smile, or interesting fun stuff that isn't necessarily like about doom. So the last time I did like a fun kind of ranking video was when I ranked all of the films written and directed by Quentin Tarantino in order of what I consider to be from worst to best. And that video was reciprocated. Is that the right word? Reciprocate? That video was appreciated, I think, by a good amount of people. So today I'm going to be doing another ranking video. What I'm going to be ranking today are all of the albums by my favorite artist, Lana Del Rey. So if you don't already know, Lana Del Rey is my single favorite singer, songwriter, performer of all time. I've been a fan of her for over a decade. I only just started to get really, really deeply into her in probably like the last 4 years or so. But as of now, I'm a certified stan, and I do not stan anybody. I think that human beings are flawed, and we shouldn't really be like dedicating our whole personality to another human being. With that being said, Lana Del Rey is not just another human being. She is a true artist. She's genuinely just one of the most interesting, fascinating, talented human beings to ever walk the face of the planet. And she's just so talented. All of her albums are so special to me. I could listen to all of them for the rest of my life, and in fact, I think I will. So today I thought I would do the impossible task of ranking them, and to be honest with you, I've never actually considered my full ranking positions. Like, I obviously know my favorite and I know like my second favorite, but I don't know the orders that everything else in between is gonna fit. So I've never thought about it. So I'm literally just gonna wing it right now and just think off the top of my head. So you're gonna be getting my true, unfiltered, uncensored thoughts on the matter. And let's get right into it then. Lana Del Rey, baby. She's my fave. So, Lana Del Rey has currently she has 8 released albums. So I'm not even gonna be covering her unreleased work in this video because I think she may be the artist that has the single most unreleased tracks of anyone ever. She's had so many fucking leaks. I feel like she has like a massive leak of tracks every single year, and it's been happening for so many years at this point. I feel like a decade. So I'm not going to be covering her unreleased music because it's easily over 500 songs, and I just can't get into it right now. I don't even know most of her unreleased music because it's not like officially on any platforms. So I've never been able to just sit down like and listen to it in a coherent fashion. But I've heard like, some songs here and there around. I'm just going to be focusing on her released music because just right off the bat, 8 albums of released music is like so extensive and more than most artists have. So there's a lot to work with here. Really quick, I'm just going to go through and name all her albums and kind of give like a few words on the vibe that they give off. And then I'm just going to get right into my ranking and tell you guys my thoughts. So LANA's first album, Born to Die, came out in 2012. Born to Die is very much like pop, but with like hip hop, trip hop influences. The themes are like sugar daddies, cherries, country clubs, being rich and reckless, and just being like a little fun hoe. Perfect like summer vibes. Her second album is not a full album. It's seen as like a continuation of Born to Die. Usually I consider it its own thing because it has so many iconic moments of its own. The Paradise EP. Paradise EP is definitely like a step up / continuation of the aesthetic of Born to Die. Very like sugar daddies, doing your own thing, LA, the glamour of Hollywood, like, dashed dreams and stuff. Then her third album, Ultraviolence, totally shifts, and it's very grungy. It's kind of dark influences, themes of abusive relationships, drugs, alcohol abuse, California, New York, just being fucking iconic. Fourth album is Honeymoon, very Italian summer vibes, very how do I say, not classical, but Honeymoon, it's hard to nail Honeymoon. It's hard to nail down the specific vibe or aesthetic, but it's like definitely one of LANA's personal favorite albums, and that's why it resonates with fans a lot. Her fifth album, Lust for Life, is themes like music festival, Coachella, hippies, peace. It's a longer album, and it has features from some artists that LANA doesn't usually do features, but she has some really good features on this album. And then her sixth album, Norman fucking Rockwell. How do I describe Norman? It just feels like a summer day. Like, it just feels like a beach day. It reminds me of like sailing, all things like nautical, water, bright colors, pastel colors. It's like neon, a lost love, very psychedelic as well. Ultraviolence and Norman Rockwell are the most psychedelic. Seventh album, Chemtrails Over the Country Club, a slightly shorter album, came out during the pandemic. Totally different vibes than anything she ever did before. Very folky, very like acoustic, calm, piano ballads, not so much production. And then her eighth album that just came out last year, Blue Banisters, also mostly laid back production with a couple of more upbeat songs in there, but definitely a good mix. It really feels like her most comforting album, and just a lot of themes of like home, wanting to go home, figuring out what home is, where home is, that kind of stuff. So when people say, before I get into the ranking, when people say like, oh, you remind me of Lana Del Rey, which, not to brag or anything, but several people have said that to me, and it always means a lot. But I just find it funny how there are so many different aesthetics that Lana has like used in her brand and her music, that you could be talking about hippies at Woodstock, and you could be talking about 18-year-old girls drinking, Shirley Temple by the pool in Vegas, and they could both be seen as Lana Del Rey aesthetic, but just from different eras. So that's what I love about her, is that she's just able to recreate and reinvent her image over and over again, and just every single image and aesthetic that she takes on just like fucking works for her so much. So, with that being said, it's time to rank Miss Lana Banana. So, unfortunately, I already know what I will be ranking last in my ranking number 8, and that is Chemtrails Over the Country Club, which, to be fair to Miss Chemtrails, we did have very, very high hopes. By we, I mean me. When I heard the title of the album is Chemtrails Over the Country Club, I don't know what my vision was, but it just wasn't what we got. Like, that just wasn't what I was thinking. I guess the country club was making me think that it would be not like a Born to Die 2.0, but just something kind of similar, like in the neighborhood of that. Or just like, just kind of going back to those roots. But it was actually nothing like that. I like the song White Dress on the album. I like the song Chemtrails Over the Country Club. Do I listen to either of them like on my regular rotation? No. But there are certain times and certain days when I'm just in the mood to listen to Chemtrails in its entirety, and then I do. But to be fair, at the end of the album, there's like a 3-song stretch that is just not it. And I love Lana and I love all her music, but with these particular 3 songs, there's features and they're just, in my opinion, not as good as all her other music. So I just choose to not listen that often to it. And that's how I feel about the Chemtrails album, like as a whole. It just isn't really, out of all the other albums she has and unreleased music, it's like I just don't really care for it that much. But it's not bad. Lana doesn't have any bad music or bad songs. They're just, some are much better than others, and Chemtrails is unfortunately at the bottom of the list. So that was number 8. That was super easy to get out of the way. Now I must think. So I definitely, the number 7 spot is going to be between probably 2 albums right now. And I'm trying to decide which out of these 2 has more favor. Unfortunately, I think I'm literally going to say unfortunately for everything, because I want them all to be number 1, but we can't do that because it's not a ranking. But number 7 is going to be the Paradise EP, and the reason for that, even though Paradise EP has iconic songs that I fucking love, like Ride is like top 10 Lana Del Rey on any sane person's list. Any true fan will put Ride in their top 10. But it's not enough to bring this album any higher on the list, just because it is just an EP. It's not a full album and it's so short. A lot of people just group it in with Born to Die because there was a deluxe edition of Born to Die that has the whole Paradise album attached to it. So Paradise, like, she's like Born to Die's little sister that just isn't as sure of herself and kind of just needs to like go on her coattails. So Ride is like an amazing song in its own, but there's also the song Cola, which is really good. Other than that, I mean, look, to be fair, every song on the Paradise EP is iconic as well. Like Burning Desire is fucking amazing, but short. Gods and Monsters, Body Electric, like these are all really, really good songs, but it's just too short. Like it's just not enough of a body of work to have enough personality, if that makes sense, to get higher on the list. So we got Chemtrails at 8, Paradise EP at 7, See, I want to judge this list not on like what is good or better, but just like what I consider my personal taste and like what I listen to more regularly. So even though Born to Die is her first album, it's iconic, it has so many iconic songs, I don't find myself sitting down and listening to it in its entirety as much as I do Blue Banisters, and that is why Born to Die is number 6 on the list. Born to Die is what started it all. Born to Die is Lana Del Rey. Lana Del Rey, when people hear Born to Die, when they hear video games, when they hear Off to the Races, Blue Jeans, National Anthem, Summertime Sadness, obviously is her fucking breakout hit. Well, not a breakout, but like her most mainstream hit for sure. Like there's nothing else to say, but the reason it's so low is just because Born to Die was like some of the first Lana stuff that I ever heard, and it was so good right off the bat. And then when I started to hear her other music, it kind of just got knocked down to the bottom of the list, and it never really got that like novel feeling back for me. It was more just I mean, it's beautiful and iconic. I can listen to it any day, any amount of times, but if we're really doing a serious ranking here, it doesn't measure up to the stuff that she upgraded to. Starting in 2014 and on, Lana, she's the best artist ever. So, not that she wasn't in 2012, but it's her first released album. It's like, it's hard to explain, but it's just, there's that nostalgic feeling for me, but it just doesn't measure up to the rest of her work. So Born to Die is number 6. And then we got the beautiful, amazing, iconic okay. I'll be transparent right now. For the number 5 spot, it's between, oh my god. See, I told you it was gonna get so hard. I'm like, we knocked out Bam Bam Bam, and now it's like, I have no idea what. I guess. Okay, here's how I'm gonna do it. The number 5 spot belongs to Blue Banisters. I fucking love Blue Banisters. The only reason that it's not higher on the list is because it's so new. It's not like iconic enough yet, if that makes sense. Like it hasn't had enough time to like sit and simmer for us fans to really look back in several years and appreciate how well it's aged. And I know it's gonna age so well, so I'm not concerned about that. In fact, I'm not concerned about anything. I fucking love Blue Banisters. I will say that there are a couple of songs that are just like skips for me, usually just because they're either like too sad, make me cry, or it's just like not the vibe that I'm feeling. I usually skip the songs Beautiful, Cherry Blossom, and Sweet Carolina. Sometimes I skip Violets for Roses, but not usually when listening to Blue Banisters. Standouts on Blue Banisters for me personally are Black Bathing Suit, If You Lie Down With Me, Dealer, obviously, Thunder, Wildflower, Wildfire, fuck, Living Legend. This album's so good. I hate putting it at number 5, but I mean, this should really just be a testament to how amazing Lana Del Rey is. So Blue Banisters, number 5. Number 4. Number 4. Uh, mm, this is hard. Okay, number 4 is, well, right now it's between Honeymoon and Lust for Life for spot number 4. And whichever one of those doesn't get spot 4 is going to get spot 3. I genuinely don't know. Okay, well, Honeymoon has Honeymoon, Music to Watch Boys To, Terrence Loves You, so good. Then High by the Beach, God Knows I Tried, they're like not my favorites. They're still really good. Freak is a really good song. Salvatore. Okay. Spot number 4 is Honeymoon. The reason for that being, I love Honeymoon. Honeymoon is just like when you want to feel like just a sophisticated fucking lady that like killed her husband and found a new husband, and you're on a yacht in, you know, Capri, just sunbathing. That is Honeymoon. I love it. I love it a lot. I will say that compared to these last 3, Honeymoon is just comes a little bit short. There's no particular reason. It's just the other 3 are so good, and I will explain why. So spot number 3, Lust for Life, which is Lana's first album that actually was like happy vibes that people saw. Everyone was like, wait, Lana like loves being alive now? I thought she wanted to die. And that is true. So it was definitely a different vibe for people when it first came out. A lot of people didn't love it and still don't. Personally, I heard it and was just dumbfounded at how beautiful all the songs were. Something some people didn't like is how long it was. I personally love how long it is, because even if I am skipping, you know, 1 to even 4 songs, it's still a really, really nice long album with plenty of great tunes. So you can kind of just like do with it what you want. You can listen to parts, you can listen to half, you can skip some songs. A lot of people don't like the features on the album. I personally love the song with Sean Lennon. The song with Stevie Nicks is one of Lana's best songs, period. Beautiful People, Beautiful Problems. Her feature with The Weeknd is awesome. I used to not like the songs with A$AP Rocky, because I was just like, Lana doesn't need to be doing like features with the rappers. But now listening to them, they're actually really good, which it's Lana, so of course they're good. But I really like Summer Bummer and I really like Groupie Love. They're both just like such a chill vibe. And there's just so many like hidden gems on Lust for Life that people don't even talk about that much. Like the song When the World Was at War, We Kept Dancing. That song is so fucking fire and just so sexy and so fun. And I never see anybody online or anywhere that people talk about Lana really discussing it. And I think it's just because people kind of just cast Lust for Life to the side in favor of her other songs and albums. And I'm just not going to do that. I love Lust for Life. So Lust for Life gets spot number 3. And now we're at spot 2 and spot 1. So any Lana Del Rey fan that happens to watch this, you most likely are going to be able to figure out the order that I'm placing the last 2, because it's the order that most people would. But also, no matter what order I place them in, there will be millions of people that agree with both rankings. And that is because the 2 albums that are left on this list are universally seen as Lana's 2 best albums. Obviously, there are opinions that differ from that, but overall, these are the most popular albums that she's put out. They're forever acclaimed, forever timeless. It used to be, the order that I'm about to say, my opinion used to be reversed, but only in the past year or so have I really truly figured out what my favorite Lana Del Rey album is and what my second is. So, without further ado, number 2 in this ranking is Ultraviolence. Ultraviolence by Lana Del Rey is fucking... It's a lifestyle. It's a fucking story. It's just like, it's a cultural phenomenon. I can't even express how fucking incredible this album is. Every single song is so good. I could listen to this album on repeat. It is the home of my all-time number 1 favorite Lana Del Rey song, which is Cruel World. And that happens to be the album opener, which I genuinely could not think of a better album opener from Ultraviolence, including the title track, which is the second song. It just, everything fits so perfectly. Cruel World is the perfect opening song to just express the fucking ruins that are the mind and the emotions of Lana Del Rey and what she's about to express in this album. It has some of her most iconic tracks of all time: Cruel World, Ultraviolence, Brooklyn Baby, West Coast. Sad Girl is such a good song. Pretty When You Cry is such a good song. Florida Kilos. All of the songs on this album are bangers. There are no bad songs on this album. It's a no skip album. And there's not much more to say. And I think that the fact that the album is so perfect and still is not my number 1. It used to be my number 1 for a very long time, but only recently did it get knocked out of its number 1 position by a little ditty, a little album that came out in 2019 called Norman fucking Rockwell. And some might say it's a cliche for Norman fucking Rockwell to be every Lana Del Rey fan's favorite album. And I will say it might be a cliche. It very well might be. But sometimes cliches exist for a reason. Norman fucking Rockwell is the best album of all time. And maybe I will do another video where I will just tell you guys my favorite albums from any artist or any band. Excuse me, I'm not picking my nose. I'm scratching it. It's itchy. Okay. Norman fucking Rockwell is a summer album. You just know how, like, some albums just come out right around the summer, and it's just, when you think of it, you just think of hot summer. A good example is Views by Drake. That album just came out right in summer 2016, and it just hit in all the right ways. That is Norman fucking Rockwell for 2019. It's just like, it's really hard to put it into words in a way that, like, truly encaptures everything that the album makes me feel. I highly recommend just giving it a listen. And I don't know if it's allowed on YouTube. I'm gonna look it up, but if it is, I want to do a video where I just listen through and give, like, my commentary on the album. It's just perfect. It's completely, totally, and utterly perfect in every single way. There is no bad song. There's no boring song. There's... everything will make you feel something. It's the album that should have won a Grammy, and it didn't. And that is, like, the biggest crime in the history of the fucking world. Norman fucking Rockwell. Some of the best songs on Norman fucking Rockwell are Norman fucking Rockwell, Mariner's Apartment Complex, Venice Bitch. Cinnamon Girl is such a fucking good song. Cinnamon Girl is so good. Bartender, Happiness is a Butterfly, The Next Best American Record, The Greatest. Just every song on the album is perfection. and it's very rare that you really find an album like that. So gotta give kudos where it's due to Miss Lana. Norman fucking Rockwell is your masterpiece. If you had to delete every other album from existence, Norman is going to be right there. Norman is always going to be there, ready to fucking be appreciated and listened to. Norman is love. Norman is life. In fact, I'm probably going to listen to it as soon as I fucking turn this bitch off. So with that being said, that is my ranking of Lana Del Rey's released albums. I hope you guys enjoyed my little analysis, and let me know if you want to see more videos about Lana. I could rank my favorite songs from each album, or I can do more ranking videos of other stuff, or just telling you guys about some of my favorite things. So leave a comment, let me know what you thought, and if you want to see more stuff like this, let me know that too. Please like and subscribe if you don't already, and thank you guys so much for being here. I'll talk to you in the next video. Peace and motherfucking love.